The following program may contain adult language and mature subject matter and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Good evening and welcome to Kickstands Up with your hosts Lou DeVuono and Dave Wilson. Wherever he is, right here on Reality Radio 101. To contact us live, dial 905-725-1907. Toll free anywhere in North America. And we mean anywhere. 1-866-905-7325. Worldwide, 1-866-656-5477. Send us an email in studio101@gmail.com. And now, right to your host of Kickstands Up, Lou DeVuono and Dave Wilson.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Kickstands Up. Well, we got a special guest in the house. Well, a few special guests in the house, so we're not going to talk to Dave for a little while. First up, I'd like to welcome our special guest, Thomas Mitchell, better known as Bullet on the History Channel's show, now going to be on A&E, Gangland Undercover, and also an HD Rock member. Joining us also, the man that put this together, Barry.
Hello, Lou. Thank you for having us back.
And his lovely lady, Tammany.
Hello, everybody.
And over in the corner, hello, Ann.
Hello.
The lovely Ann DeVuono.
So, welcome all, and thanks for coming in. Appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day and joining us. I know Barry had to twist your arm.
Nope, not at all. Happy to be here.
So, I haven't had a chance to catch the show yet. You started in Season 2, from what I understand.
Yep.
And the show's premise is basically the infiltration of undercover cops into a motorcycle club. It's fictionalized.
It's actually
based on a true story.
Yeah,
but
it's not fictionalized. It's based on Charles Falco, who was recruited as an informant. And he hooks up with law enforcement and gets recruited and infiltrates first the Vagos, which was Season 1.
Yep.
And without spoiling anything, he finds himself in a different part of the United States and gets recruited by law enforcement and has to decide whether he wants to keep going down that road or not. And that's what Season 2 is all about.
And your character's Bullet.
Yep.
And what's
so I'm a ATF agent and working undercover, and I've been working with the Mongols on the West Coast, and I find myself on the East Coast, and now we're trying to infiltrate the outlaws.
Right.
And so that's Season 2 is about the challenges in that regard and whether we're successful or not.
Now, this is a program put on by Chorus Entertainment.
Cineflex produces, that's right.
Yeah, and it's shot here in Ontario.
Yep.
And if I got it all right, you were on History Channel for season.
For Season 1, History Channel, and then Season 2, we're also History Channel. Canada, but we're debuting December 8th on A&E.
So if you haven't seen it, so is that season 1 and season 2 on A&E, or just season 2?
They'll air season 1 just as like a preview.
Yeah,
and try and get the viewership up to speed. And season 1 is fantastic. You can, I'm sure, enjoy season 2 without watching it, but it'd be a good idea to check it out because it's great work. And season 2 picks up where season 1 leaves off.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So how'd you get into the show? Or I
auditioned for it. Toronto's very busy. There's a lot of work going on here. We're very fortunate. We got a great industry here, and so it was an opportunity to go and audition for this part.
Yeah.
And it just kind of jumped off the page. Identified with it right away. I ride and I've played a lot of cops, so it wasn't too much of a stretch. And so I prepared the work and went in and read for the showrunner. His name's Stephen Kemp, and he's the genius, creative genius behind the show.
Right.
It was one audition and a couple of scenes. And he said, well, that's all right. Do you ride?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I ride. And I worked at Humber College as an instructor, so I logged quite a few miles on the bike. And about 3 weeks later, my agent called me and said, hey, if you don't have anything going on, you're in the mix on this Gangland Undercover thing. So if you have any commitments or complications, let me know. I said, no, it's free and clear. And about 2 weeks after that, I got the phone call, said, you're in. You're the guy. So I think typically when you're reading for a series or a fairly major part, there might be a couple of auditions.
Right.
Or, you have to read for a number of people.
Right.
But this wasn't like that, man. Stephen just brought me in, and it seemed to work right away. So
nice.
Yeah.
So you've obviously done acting in other television, movies, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've been at it for a long time.
Yeah. What would lead you down that road? Like, is that what you do full time, or do you do something else full time? And because all actors are poor, right?
That's why Thomas is moving in with me and Tam tomorrow.
We already got it all sorted out.
Yeah.
It's great. And which, by the way, Barry, thank you to you and Tam for having me over tonight. It was great hospitality.
You're welcome, friend.
One other thing about this show and just, and motorcycling in general, I think everybody knows, is you just meet so many great people.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to meet Barry and Tam this summer and go on a ride. And this show has been an absolute blessing because it's just created so many new friendships in my life and really great work that we can be proud of, So,
Excellent.
To answer your question, how I got started in the business, my story is a little bit unique. I didn't come into acting so much by happenstance. My mother's an actress.
Yeah.
She's an actress of some renown in Canada. She's worked 20 seasons at the Stratford Festival. And that's from the age of 7, that's where I grew up because she went there to go and work at Stratford. And single mom, bringing me up, carving out a career when it wasn't easy to do so.
Sure.
And through talent and hard work and just, being a great gal and a great mom. So I was introduced to the theater in that respect. So I was a backstage kid. And I would go on tour with my mom sometimes. We'd go out to Calgary for 2.5 months. We did New York and Philadelphia when I was about 8 years old. Halifax, I'd be out there for 3 months while she's doing a show. And so it was a really interesting experience,
Yeah.
And but as I got a little bit older, I got into sports and wanted to play sports. And I went to university and played football. And I thought, maybe I should take an acting course because it's an easy credit. There's
You're way too small to
some
play
cute
football,
chicks
man.
there, and
now look where you are. That's awesome.
I got the bug. I really did get the bug. Honestly, I think it was kind of interesting. The seed had already been planted, but I spent my reading weeks rehearsing shows and by the time I left university, I said, you know what, I think this is what I want to pursue, and I went out to Vancouver and started out there.
Nice.
Yeah. So
it's a great story, though. That's a great backstory for anybody. It's you can come out of it by accident, sort of.
Yeah.
And it happens like that for many, and for others, they have to work damn hard at it.
I do marvel at my friends. My friends that are in the business. it was an honest choice on their part. It wasn't something that they were maybe influenced to do because one of their family members did it. It was something that they really came by because they were extremely passionate about it. So, I hold my head up to those guys because I kind of feel like I had a bit of a head start, right?
Yeah.
And those guys, a lot of those guys didn't, and they're carving it out through hard work. So
Had to work for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to put out our email address and our phone number again. So if you'd like to call in and talk to me, which you probably don't because nobody ever calls me, or you'd like to call in and talk to Tom,
The Bullet.
the Bullet, or Barry, or Tam, you can call us locally.
In an hour.
Forget Dave.
And show is in an hour just to get it out there.
Yeah,
because we
okay.
usually get 1 or 2 emails for that.
905-725-1907. That's in the GTA area. In North America, toll free 1-866-905-7325. Or you can email us now at instudio101@gmail.com. So if you have any questions for us in the studio or, well, for anybody out there in cyberspace, we'll be happy to try to answer them. And I want to thank Barry and Tam for inviting Thomas in. And
Hey, it's our pleasure. We met him in the summer, and he's an awesome guy. And I have a question for you, Thomas.
Yeah, Barry, shoot.
Do you ride?
As a matter of fact, yes, I do ride.
And what do you ride, my friend?
I ride.
Can you tell Lou what you ride, please? Because he rides a Victory.
Oh, is that right?
yeah.
Those bikes are almost from the future, right? I mean, they look pretty sleek.
I got a cross country. It's a little more closer to the Street Glide than the Vision. I know
styling is pretty aggressive on those.
But he does have a Harley, too.
Oh, no doubt.
Got a Dyna.
Beautiful.
So what do you ride, Thomas?
So I ride a 2002 Harley Davidson Road King.
Road King?
Yeah, and I love it, man.
Nice
I love
bike.
it. It's a beautiful bike. I used to ride a lot. I rode the super bikes, Ninjas and KZ 900. And back in 03, I just kind of got out of it. And insurance, whatever, repairs, things adding up. I just slipped away. And I said,
actor.
Too broke to afford insurance. Need a gig.
Wages and job didn't cover it.
And I said, I'm not getting another bike till I can get American Iron.
Yeah.
And this show came along,
yeah.
And I'm around bikes every day. You can't ride them really. You got to pull in the frame 5 feet and 5 feet past frame. Shut the bike down. It was like bicus interruptus going on all day long. So
they don't let you ride your own bike on the show.
No, I mean. I think logistically, because they want to keep an eye on the machines and they want to have them all corralled. Sometimes they're using the bikes in a shot, and I'm not necessarily there that day. So logistically, it makes sense for them to have all their bikes they need.
What were you riding on the show?
So on the show, I was riding, I think it was like a 95 Fat Boy. And
ouch.
Yeah, it was... I don't know where they picked this bike up. I don't think they paid a lot for it. But, it's a classic style, and it had the drag bars on it, which was nice. But it was really low, so I would turn a corner, and the sparks would be flying and be bottoming out like crazy. So the guy spent a little time working on adjusting it. It came around a bit, but probably not my first choice. But still a sharp-looking bike. Everybody wanted Bullet's bike.
Yeah.
So now, when you ride on the show, I mean, you're actually riding that Fat Boy in the show that we're watching. I mean, the scenes that we see you in riding, you're riding a bike. You're riding the Fat Boy.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
Good.
so is Damon. Damon's riding a 2011 Road King, which it's got those massive ape hangers.
Yeah.
Now, I actually took his bike out for a spin, and it's cumbersome. Like it's a really challenging bike to ride. He makes it look easy, man. He looks cool on that thing.
And tell him whose bike it was.
It actually, as I understand it, was shipped up by Charles Falco himself, who is the subject of Gangland Undercover. He's the guy that wrote the books, infiltrated the gangs. And, as I understand it, he sent it up from California.
Nice.
A little bit of cred, right?
Yeah,
Here you go,
yeah.
boys.
That's
Take care of my bike. Make sure I get it back in one piece.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we won't tell him I almost dropped it.
Well,
I think
Well,
we
he
just
just
did.
he's not listening anyway. This is a low-rated show.
He's
so-
got friends, though.
Yeah,
In
network
low
wide.
places.
Yeah.
Tam, what do you want to ask him?
Thanks for putting me on the spot.
Hold on. Big time on his bike. Here we go. Shifting gears. Shifting. Downshift.
I asked him a lot of questions at the house.
Well, ask him the same questions again. No, everybody out there wasn't there.
Oh,
So,
you're really
there you
making her
go.
work on this one. Think about it. It's okay.
I'll think about
Especially
it.
after
Yeah,
that.
it's all
Tam.
good.
I'm going to be.
I'm an open book.
I'm
So-
going to be in the doghouse when I get home.
Yeah.
So you were passionate
else
about
do you-
sports. What sports were you interested in?
Well, I played football.
Yeah.
Football was it for me. I grew up in Stratford, which is a hockey town,
Yeah.
and all my friends played hockey, and I tried to play hockey, and well, it was just embarrassing. So I said,
Argo there.
"Is that right?"
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said earlier. I said, what position you play? Because you're awful fucking light.
I was actually a tailback when I went to Bishops. I was about 185 pounds. I had good feet, a hard head, and then I broke my ankle a week before our first game against McGill, my first year as a rookie.
Yeah.
And then the second year in training camp, I broke my other ankle.
Oh.
So I was
that
like a
sounds like
rookie
me.
in my third year. I'd probably got up to about 200 pounds. So I was now a fullback.
That's why
Yeah.
you're enacting.
Yeah, I was a fullback. Played all the special teams though, and actually in '87 we were ranked number 1 in the nation, and we lost to McGill. We'd beaten them twice that year, and they played that. That's their only Vanier Cup that they ever won. But they played the last game because it's such an epic football weekend. I really feel I need to mention this.
Yeah.
They played the last game at Varsity Stadium, the last Vanier Cup.
Yeah.
And the field was frozen. It was a wretched, terrible field. It had frozen, and they wore broom ball shoes, and they beat UBC 47-10. Ran roughshod over. Wow. So what a coaching move that was. Eh? It's right. It's like having the right tires on your ride. You know,
Yeah,
you got to have
there
the
you
right
go.
footwear. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
That's
No
a little
more. No more blowing ankles.
yeah, yeah.
We have an email here. It's from Carmen. Carmen writes in, "Wow, DeVuono, Wilson, finally a show with some class, you bastards." Great show.
But that's not really a question, though.
Hello.
Eh?
But it's a
Hello,
compliment.
It sure is.
Baron Tammer in here.
Yeah.
Hey, it ain't us. Trust me. They've been to all of our parties.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't
Like
understand
Friday
why Carmen's
night.
saying we got class in here.
That's right.
Yeah.
You two are here.
I'm thinking, Dave. You probably know. Do you know Jake Vaughn?
Yeah, name's familiar.
Jake Vaughn or Keith Kelly?
I'm a few years older than you, man.
All right. Well, you're looking good, man. I didn't
Yeah,
think so.
he's
I
got
thought
a couple years on you, I'm sure.
All right.
Yeah,
Just
no,
a
I
few.
was.
Oh, you're not Joe Theismann era, are you? Or
Yep.
like-
Seriously.
really?
Yeah, early 80s.
Well, he was early 70s, right?
No,
No.
late.
Late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, he was at the tail end, and I was at the start, and similar to you, it's left knee
Oh, boy.
2 years in a row.
Exhibition Stadium, that bad turf back then.
No, actually, it was Commonwealth Stadium one year, and Ivor win the next.
Oh, so you're in Edmonton and Hamilton.
I played for the Argos.
Okay.
What, Dave? I known you all these years, and you played for the Argos, and nobody's ever told me that?
Yeah. You didn't know?
That's
well,
very
shit,
cool.
I'm going to get your autograph after
That
this
is
show,
very
bro.
It'll be worth the paper it's written on.
Do you have
Give him a $10 bill and it'll be worth $10.
do you have a
Oldest
football card out there somewhere?
No.
Come on, I'm
No,
going to
no,
make
I
one.
was-
That's
The
awesome.
way the injury happened, I was last cut both years because the injury happened right before the first game.
Well, that's pretty damn
Yeah,
cool.
it sounds
man.
like him.
Yeah.
You guys can't take it. That's why you blow it out and then you sit there. I
And
played
that's it.
Well, at least it wasn't stepping in a fucking hole fixing a light.
Oh, here we go. The bus is coming.
F-bomb.
I know. There's
Gates
the F-bomb.
open.
Gates open. No. Thomas, don't do it. Thomas, don't do it.
Yeah.
Better
I want to
ring
ask
Well,
you a question.
English is
Yeah.
my first language, so
There you go. I want to ask you a question, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Hang on. I had one. What is your favorite part that you played in the show? Something that stands out to you? Is there one or?
Well, I was really looking forward to episode 5, which is where we
Spoiler alert.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
It's
Fair
already
enough.
played on air. You missed
Yeah, I
it.
know
Yeah,
that.
but it's episode 5, and it's very physical. It's when the devil comes in and tests us at our clubhouse.
Yep.
And there's a lot of violence. There's some fighting. There's some drama. There's some fire. There's and also the fact that it takes place over the course of a night. It's kind of manic, you know. And I was really looking forward to seeing that episode because I know how hard we all worked on it, and it didn't disappoint. It was really exciting.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How many times did you have to redo your shots? Like
So,
was it cut? Do it again. Cut. Do it again.
no.
Cut. Do it again. Or did you guys nail it?
We're on a limited budget,
Right.
so we didn't have like multiple takes, and we didn't have multiple setups. We didn't, and I say this in the best way because I think it really made for the excitement of the show. We didn't even have a studio. Every day we were on location at a different spot, which was a challenge for like set deck people because they have to come in first thing in the morning. They have to set this location to make it look like what we need it to look like. So the pressure's on right from the get-go. All the trucks show up, all the actors show up, and we were like a marauding gang of motorcyclists just kind of bombing around Toronto neighborhoods. We'd come blusting in. We'd shoot a bunch of scenes. Now, and this speaks also to Stephen. As I understand it, he comes from an editing background. He's Stephen Kemp, the showrunner, the writer and director and producer. And we would come in. The crew was fantastic and absolute pros. And he would know exactly what lens he wanted, where he was going to be gunning from, how he was going to shoot the scene, because I think he had already had the editing process kind of going through his mind, right? So there was no fat on the bone. It was all just come in, get the nuts and bolts. A master, maybe 2 takes, then move in for coverage, and quite often, maybe you got 2 takes. You certainly got 1, but we really kind of just set them up, knock them down, knock them down.
So really raw and
yeah,
it's visceral. It's kind of straight cut. That's cool.
Yeah, and challenging too as an actor. Just to finish, because in theater, you can make discoveries throughout the run of a show. You could be in a checkout line, standing there thinking about your show you're going to do that night, and then all of a sudden, bam! Oh man, I've been saying the line this way. I'm going to try it this way tonight because and so you go out and you have the opportunity to execute those discoveries. Whereas in film and television, you're shooting that scene that day, and when it's done, it's gone.
So how many times did you think, geez, I should have said something different?
Oh, man, you're driving home, driving to a bridge abutment. Damn, man. Yep. That's the way I was supposed to do it.
Of course, none of us know that.
Yeah.
None of us know that. That's watching, the public that's watching the show.
Oh, sure, the anxiety and the angst that you get from, doing the scene, and you go, man, I blew it. So it's all good.
I've got a question for you.
All right, Ann.
Now, we're all fans of the Sons of Anarchy episodes in here. Knowing that show was based on fiction with some hint of reality, and we know your show is based on fact, how closely are the 2 shows?
Well,
when you look at what you are experiencing in a non-fiction character compared to a Sons of Anarchy character.
Well, I guess Sons of Anarchy is pretty much fiction, right, across the board.
It is.
But it was based on
stories.
semi-actual facts.
Well, yeah, loosely based.
Loosely based, yeah.
Kurt Sutter hangs around with all those guys, so he's heard stories. And so
plus you have some actors from the outlaw gangs in the show.
Yeah,
so.
Of course.
I've seen Sons of Anarchy, and I'm going to be complete. Now that we live in Trump world, I can say whatever I want. I don't have to be politically correct.
No,
Gangland's a little darker.
I think it's darker. I think it's grittier. I look at Sons of Anarchy. Frankly, I never really got into it. I tried watching it back in 2012, and I thought it was melodramatic. I wasn't buying it.
Yeah, well,
and that's just me. And maybe I'm going out on a limb, and I'm going to upset some people. But then I tried. Actually, they had one of those marathons on this summer.
Yeah,
it was a rainy day. I wasn't out riding. One of the only days you couldn't ride this summer, right?
Yeah.
And so I watched it because I thought, I need to see this. I need to watch this. And I think it was episode 6 and 7. Kind of the show was winding down. And I know a couple of the actors in the show, and there's definitely riveting performances going on, and the storylines are pretty intriguing. But I had trouble getting into the believability of it sometimes. Some of the shootouts going on with cops, and then everybody going home and having a grilled cheese sandwich.
It was definitely fiction.
It feels a little stagey.
Still a great
feels
show,
a bit slick. It's pretty glossy. I think it's kind of a Hollywood.
Well, it's Hollywood.
It's Hollywood for sure, man. And we, they got a budget and we don't.
Yeah.
And but I think our art stands up, admirably.
Yeah.
Right next to it.
My experience,
that's my honest answer.
Yeah,
not bullshitting here.
Sons of Anarchy effect is what I called it, because everybody had to be in a club and everybody wanted to be in an MC, and I just thought it was a bit carried away.
They sure sold a lot of merch, man.
Oh yeah, well,
see a lot of See a lot of shirts.
So you got a question here. It's from Lee. Lee writes in, where's the best wings you've had recently? Laughing my ass off,
Is that
you
Lee
bearded
Baldwin
bro.
by
That
chance?
is Lee Baldwin,
No way.
buddy. Love you.
And he says,
Lee is a
shiny side
champion.
up, rubber side down, ride it like you stole it.
Damn right.
Yeah, so,
Lee is a champ, man. So the Brettlebane in Fergus
yeah.
has some outstanding chicken wings, and they also I walked in and they were showing the Vanier Cup, so that's big thumbs up right away. Yeah, Lee's like the mayor down there, man. He's awesome.
So what did Lee play in the show?
So Lee played a pagan, dirty, greasy, filthy
Okay.
pagan,
Yeah.
and played it well.
Lee, I don't know if that's a compliment
Oh,
or an
totally
insult,
a
but
compliment.
Got his chops.
Now I
eh?
got
He is a
Hey,
solid citizen.
now
Man.
I
He
got-
looks great on camera too, man. I mean, props to all the guys that played the background. We had so many colorful
Ralph
dudes
Hashey.
hanging around. Ralph Hashey, Earl Chabot,
Danny
Fulling.
Fulling.
Steve Jacobson, Stoke. He's out there. We had
Eric
we had
did a-
kind of a core group of guys,
Yeah.
and
Eric does a stellar job as the devil.
yeah, Stephen, Eric McIntyre, fantastic presence on screen and a great gentleman too. I feel so
played in
blessed to
season
have worked
one
with
too,
these
right?
people and to have these people in my life, man.
Sorry, Tam.
He played in season 1 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think of your question?
Well, here was one of the questions I
All
did
right,
ask.
shoot it, Tam.
At the end of season 2, it left it open ended. What do you think about season 3?
Well, I think I should be in it.
Do you think there's going to be a season 3?
The way season
Let's say
2
yes,
ended.
yes.
The way season 2 ended, I mean, it's
Left it wide open.
wide open.
It is
And
wide
one of the last lines that I had in the show on the final season, we're getting ready to bomb away on our motorcycles, and somebody says something referring to something, and I say, yeah, it's a long road ahead. And hopefully it is. Hopefully it is a long
Hopefully
road
it
ahead.
Talk
is. It's a
about the
great
bike
show.
that you've been asking for on the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the Fat
That's
Boy.
a great story.
Yeah, so everybody wants Bullet's bike. The first season, they rented the bikes, as I understand it, and a lot of shots were filmed down in Phoenix too. A lot of the riding,
Right.
and this year,
Good area to ride.
oh my God! I mean, if you've seen season 1, epic motorcycle shots. I mean, it looks like these guys are just—that's what riding's about.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Getting out with your.
I've been
buddies.
all over, so.
Oh, I'd love to go down there, and I envy those guys from season 1 that got to go down to Phoenix and hang out, and when they weren't shooting riding bikes around, they were sitting poolside, and that sounds like a pretty wonderful thing to do. Who knows? Maybe season 3, maybe we'll get some really epic riding sequences.
Yeah.
But as far as season 3, I'm guardedly optimistic. There's no guarantees, but hopefully, if the powers that be look upon us favorably, we'd all love to come back and keep doing it because we really had a lot of fun telling this story.
And we had a lot of fun watching it. So can you speak of the bike?
Yeah, so it's this 95 Fat Boy, and I kept saying to Tommy, so I hear you guys are selling the bikes at the end of the show, the season. And so I'd hit him up almost every day. You going to sell me Bullet's bike? Come on, because I wanted to ride, right? I didn't have a bike at this point, and Saturdays and Sundays, I'm days off. I want to get on a bike of my own, right? So, and I told him, I said, look, man, as long as it'll always be production bike, but if you want to sell me this thing, I'm down. And he turned to me and he said, well, we might be going season 3, so I can't really release anything for a couple of years. And, kind of
That's
asked and
amazing.
answered, rather have the gig than the bike.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you got a bike anyway.
Well, the very
You're
next
on-
day,
Yeah.
after having looked for weeks on end and online and going to Harley-Davidson dealerships on my day off, I found my bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
So have you done any long riding or have you done any trips?
This summer, we wrapped the show June 20th, and June 20th and 11:59, I was bombing.
Yeah.
And so I rode a lot, just kind of around the GTA. I put on 12,000 miles this summer,
Yeah.
but I slept in my bed most nights. Quick trip up to Ottawa for my buddy's 50th, and I
Right.
did a ride up to Montreal for a tribute at Bishop's, where I went to school.
Nice.
And riding around the eastern townships in the fall was just spectacular. But a lot of stuff around Toronto, going out to the Bend, down to Niagara.
Yeah.
I'd never ridden the Niagara Parkway. That's a nice cruise.
Yeah.
Went on a great ride with Barry this summer, and we went up to through
Chassis.
Creemore and Classy
Yep,
Chassis,
Classy Chassis, yep.
which was a great afternoon.
Yeah.
and that was for sick kids.
Yep, they
and
had a
we-
great band.
Great band. And
Josh
great
always-
gifts. Remember that
Yep.
dude? We got like 4 or
Four
5
gifts.
things.
Josh is always outstanding and serves us great for the sick kids ride. And he's always put out a lot for us. So we're very proud to be in conjunction with Josh
Right on.
at Classy Chassis.
Yeah, it was, and I hadn't been to that shop before, and they got a great setup up
They
there.
do.
It was really, really well done. So, and then we rode back, and we had some great windy, twisty roads that I really am not familiar with. I haven't ridden these roads in a long time, if ever, some of them. So it was great to get out there. We're pretty blessed. We got some nice roads.
And then we
around
came
there.
back to the house, and somebody realized that you were on the show, and we all freaked out. No way! Look at this! It's Thomas Mitchell. Wow!
So you haven't actually been to Montreal for a sandwich like some of these guys. They've gone out to Montreal and back in a day.
And I'm going to
for
tell
a
you,
sandwich.
every time I go to Montreal, I'm on the chicken tour. And I go to Chalet Barbecue. I go to Côte St. Luc. I go to Barbie Barn. But this particular trip, I also hit Schwartz's, which I'd never been to before.
Yeah.
And a couple of great
Smoke
Chinese
meat sandwich,
Montreals in Chinese restaurants in Chinatown, Montreal. I was like on the feasting tour. I went as many places as I could on my motorcycle.
Well,
in
that's
Montreal.
it. The motorcycles and food seem to go hand in hand. The two things we talk about is if we're not talking about rides, we're talking about the damn food.
Damn right. Well, you get hungry, right?
What else is the
And
point in
we're
riding?
gonna try a Quebec City ride this summer.
I would love that. I'd never been to Quebec City, actually.
Tam loves it because she can get a beer at one bar and walk down the street and go into all the other bars with the same beer she got from the first bar. So she loves it.
Yeah.
Quebec City.
Oh, they treat you like an
I'm
adult
not
in
sure if
Quebec.
it's me or you that likes it more.
You should take her
Yeah,
to
because that's
George
just
Street,
one beer for the
Newfoundland.
whole night. What a cheap date.
Yeah.
Take her to
why I
George
bring
Street,
her.
Newfoundland. That'll get her going.
Key West or Vegas, you can do the same thing. Just walk from bar to bar with the same drink.
George Street in Newfoundland, they're all bars.
Yeah,
Doesn't really
that's
matter.
it. Start at one end and go to the other.
Never been to Bike Week in Daytona, and there's a little bit of chatter about trying to put that together this spring. That'd be nice. I don't want to wait till my motorcycle until it comes out in late March or April. I'd like to hit Bike Week this year, I think.
Yeah. Bike Week's cool. Been there a couple of times. A couple of days and then you're done.
You've had enough, yeah.
Yeah, I can only. Unless you're one of those nut bars like Dover, you got to go to Port Dover for the 13th or stuff like that. You lose your mind.
A lot of drinking, a
Well,
lot
that-
of partying.
That's the
Oh,
whole
geez,
thing.
sounds like a bummer.
You want to be riding,
That's
too.
the whole thing. We're going to do 2 days of drinking, and we'll need to stay there for 2 days to recover.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a 4-day holiday here.
Well, it's good. It's a good run. If I go there, I end up inevitably going down to Key West. Key West, I think, is super cool.
I've heard that, and that would be part of the deal. I have a brother that lives in Miami. I've never been down to his place.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
So it would be a part of that as well, right? And frankly, Damon was pretty smart. He went on a nice trip before he started filming.
Damon?
Playing Charles Falco on the show. Damon Runyon, fantastic actor, great fella. So he had some good color when he came ready to start the show when we started filming in April. And I kind of remember looking
He
back
did that
going,
on purpose.
Jesus, man, I was like really pale. I think I need to go somewhere sunny right before we, right before we go to set.
Hey, being
So-
an informant, you'd have to be pale. You did the
Lot
right
of
thing.
jail time,
you did
right?
the right thing.
I've been lucky. I've been fortunate enough. I've ridden across Canada 3 times, coast to coast.
Nice.
I've ridden Vegas, California, Utah, Arizona, Florida. Well, Dallas, Texas. We've gone 13 states in 10 days. We travel. Yeah, I love to travel. Washington for Rolling Thunder.
Lou's one of those guys that's always on the road with his bike.
Yeah,
Always
fantastic.
engaged with him.
If I was to point you to a rally, I'd say skip frickin' Daytona, go to Sturgis.
Yeah.
The roads
Yeah.
is incredible.
Yeah.
The people, the atmosphere, the whole thing is just mind blowing. It's like this is Daytona.
Can't
and
we do
this-
both? Can't
this
we
is
do
fucking-
both?
Oh shit! Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well, the roads in Sturgis, you can go out riding for the day, and you're spending the day on twisties and turns and beautiful countryside and roads, and then you go back to Sturgis to party in the evening.
Perfect.
Down in Florida, it's just straight highway.
pretty
most
flat.
of it.
Yeah.
It's flat, straight. You
Someone
don't
say
get the
party?
twisties. And you don't have the twisties and turns. You got the partying and the nightlife, but you don't have
And
the
that
riding
blazing
during
sun.
the day.
Well, I mean, Daytona is.
I love the
because
beach.
For a lot of people, it's because they're sick of winter, right?
Yeah,
And
that's kind of how I'm looking at it too.
Yeah, March is like, oh, I got to get on the bike, and
Totally.
in the trailer it goes, and down they, hit the turnpike and hit the I-75 or I-95. They make way down to Florida, and I'm on the bike. It's been 3 long months of winter. Sturgis, you're well into summer.
August, right? Mid-August.
Yeah, it's usually early August, and it's
Hot.
it's cool. But here we go. We got another email. It's from Win. Says, hey,
Win Jones.
yeah.
You know Win Jones.
I
don't.
sure do know Win. Yeah, Win
Hey,
Jones.
Hey,
how you
wait a
doing?
sec. Was
Tilsonburg.
Win on the show?
No, Win was not on the show.
Okay, Win
Win
introduced me.
Spirit was on the show,
Win
though, man. He's a
introduced
road
me-
rogue.
Win introduced me to you.
Is that how that
Oh,
worked out?
I-
That was at the...
Okay.
How did that work out?
Says,
Would that have been at the Wasaga rally? No, you weren't there.
I think he sent me a email or
Okay.
introduced you to HD Rock.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, you guys, I had overheard at, Dale Harrison? Do you know Dale? And,
Yep. I
and
don't.
a couple of those guys from that crew, Bill Wessner, we're talking, overheard at a party. Oh, Kickstands Up from Eagle Eye Custom. Guys are heading out tomorrow morning. And I said, that's,
Yeah,
where,
I
that's
know-
where
I
I'm
know
going.
Bill and
that
Dale
was
and-
your ride that day.
That's right.
That was
Hey,
a great day.
I know Bill and Dale.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
were talking about this ride that I joined you on this
Too
summer.
classy, chassis.
Yeah, and I was
That's
like,
awesome,
well,
man.
I better go home now because I need to get some sleep so I can be up early. On the road, right? And
Small
just as
world.
I was bombing down the road, you guys are pulling out, so I came in the tail end, and
That's awesome.
yeah, it was a great day. Great day.
so, Win writes, hey, T, are you going to ride East Coast Newfoundland with Barry and Tam?
Well,
Your brother from Nutta Mutta.
that sounds like a pretty awesome itinerary as well.
We are talking about doing Newfoundland in July sometime, early
Really?
July.
Okay.
So I have lots of family down there, and we're going to stay at our family's places all the way along Newfoundland. But I want to start at one end of Newfoundland and ride all the way to the other end and go up to Labrador and then come out through Quebec. So that's what our plan is.
Yeah.
So you're not looking for like 20, 30 people to go
Absolutely
stay at
not.
relatives?
No. It'll be 2 or 3 couples or whatever, 3 or 4 bikes, that's it. Because I find when you ride long distances with more than 3 or 4 or 5 people, it takes a lot longer and it slows you down.
People need rest, and more people need rest, whereas
Yeah.
like 4 or 5
it,
maniacs just pressing hard can get the job done, right?
That's right, yeah.
Barry,
So,
when are you planning that? What
in
month?
July, maybe of next
July?
year. Now we're going on we're supposed to be going on the Alaskan cruise with you guys, but
In September.
this is the alternative to if Tam doesn't get her paperwork by then we're going to do the Newfoundland ride and not do the Alaskan cruise.
Well, it's just
because
if
that's
you're-
what it depends on.
If you're going to Newfoundland, up in July, you got to get up to Bonavista Bay and see the whales. That's
Will
when
do.
whales and the icebergs are going by. If you're going in August, you got to take Tam to the George Street Festival, because if you think walking through Vegas with a beer is fun, go down to George Street Festival, because it's all bars. There's more bars on that little short section of street
That's awesome.
than anywhere else in the world.
Austin has a street like that.
Yeah.
In Texas, yeah.
Calgary's got one, Electric Avenue, too.
Now you wanted to ask
Thomas,
Bullitt a question?
when it came to remembering your lines, how much time did you have to spend putting into that?
Like studying at home
because
for your lines.
obviously you said you weren't allowed many takes, so you
Yeah.
had to.
Yeah, that was definitely part of the challenge, but that's part of our job, right? Like,
How did you do that? Did you get a script from
definitely, I got
and go home and study it for hours or memorize it?
Yeah, I mean, my days consisted of going to the gym, eating right, and learning my lines.
How's that working
And
out
that
for
was
you
it.
now?
Well, back then I was dialed right in. Now I've been on kind of party mode, and once my responsibilities have been met, right? So now I can relax.
And once the next
But
gig comes up, you'll be doing it
man,
again.
When we get a hard date, it's like back in the gym. Like just you commit, right? You commit, and you just get in that frame of mind. Now, as far as I realized when I got the scripts, I was like, wow, this dude has a lot of dialogue. I mean, I'm throwing a lot of dialogue out there. So I've been lucky. Like when I read a script, the cadence, the tone and the pace of it seem to kind of jump out at me.
Fits
and
naturally.
I try not to make it too complicated. I mean, I love watching those old black and white movies like Bogey, James Cagney, these actors. I mean, they don't talk like that, and nobody kind of does. No, man, they're talking like I'm talking. They spit it out, man. Spit it out.
William Shatner has it down to
but he's got so many great, rich beats in between. Hey, don't knock the Shatner, man. Love Bill.
Yep. How many hours did you spend studying your lines?
I think it varied, but I'm just glad that I had probably 4 weeks in advance to prepare, because we also shot out of sequence. We didn't go in and just do one episode and do all those scenes in a row.
Because if you were in an area, you'd do...
Logistically, it's impossible.
Yeah.
So that was also a challenge. So you'd get the list, the shot list of what you were responsible for that day. And you just say, okay, man, let's go and hammer those scenes. And you get them all down. I did have on a couple of occasions a friend run lines with me.
Good.
But just hammering it out in your own mind.
So they gave you the lines.
Gave me the scripts.
How many days before that you actually
I
filmed?
had like 3 weeks before. There was one block that we were doing, and I think I got the script like maybe a week or 10 days before.
So you go home,
yeah,
take a shower, eat your dinner, and then study these lines.
Dinner, dude. We don't get home till midnight.
Oh.
I mean, we're up at 6:30.
Craft services is a great thing. I've been on a lot of sets.
Oh yeah, there was no shortage of meals. But
no.
I just mean dinner hour was usually on set, right?
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
The days would start not crazy early. We were running and gunning by 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Sure.
But we were also going until 9:30, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So it was full on commitment, 70 hours a week. Not really including travel time. And then when most folks, they're wrapping up the gear, they go home, they have their weekend to relax. Well, I got to learn my dialogue for the next week or the week thereafter. Like I need to always be 10 days,
refreshing
7 days
yourself and always
ahead.
working.
Yeah, and so because you don't get multiple takes.
Yeah,
we don't have a lot of time
Not only
on
that,
set.
as
so
you
got to
say,
have,
they shoot out a sequence, so you got to be ready.
And getting back to that point about being in theater, where you can go and make these discoveries. Well, in film and TV, you only have that opportunity, that small window, that 45-minute window to shoot that scene. So you better have your shit thought out. Mm-hmm. You better have your bag of tricks ready to go and be able to draw on it, and also understand what's going on in the scene.
So how many pages of script did you have to memorize for? Well, what was the biggest script
I would say
you
maybe
memorized?
40 pages.
What? You have
40
to
pages.
Memorize that.
Well, each script was about, if I'm not mistaken, and this is where I insert the joke, I didn't really read the script, so I don't know how long it was. That might work on some shows. On this show, I was reading the script, and I was right on top of it. But I think the scripts were about 50 pages long. And we would shoot basically
and you'd memorize 50 pages at a time.
Well, you'd figure you memorizing about 40 pages a week, because and then 4 or 5 weeks would cover the first 4 episodes. You'd take a week off, and then the next 4 or 5 weeks would be the next 4 episodes.
Yeah.
So I'd say about 40. Yeah, I think give or take.
Awesome, man. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of work, and but man, it paid off, and it felt good.
Did.
Like
the show is amazing, bro, and all the actors on it are amazing.
Everybody gets their turn, eh? Like there's so many great characters and great faces on the screen. It's exciting.
It is, and me and Tam love the show.
Yeah,
so,
thank you, Barry. Thanks, Tam.
We're hoping for a season 3, like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, so are we.
And let me be
so is my creditors.
Let me be honest with you. When I first
the bike still isn't paid for.
No.
Well, it is, but not too many people know about it.
When I first started watching Gangland, it wasn't from the first episode. So I'd be laying in bed late at night, ready to go to sleep, and episode 5 from season 1 would come on, and I'd watch it, and I'd go, whatever. And then the commercials would come on. Now they always piss you off, the commercials. Sure. Like so many commercials. But then it was kind of not my thing at first, but then when I finally decided that I would start this thing from episode 1, season 1, and found out that Charles Falco was dealing meth, and the whole story from the beginning.
He had a choice, right?
It totally changed. Once I saw that first episode, I thought, oh, okay, now I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I started really grooving into the show.
Checking it out in sequence certainly helps. But
well, when you're watching episode 5 and there's already been 4 seasons,
you're going, what's going on?
What's going on? And it's not that great. But and now me and Tam, we binge watch season 1 and then watch season 2 on TV, and we're waiting for season 3, bro.
Well, we got that. We're looking forward to it, and if we're lucky enough to do it, that will be fantastic. I mean, season 2 has been a blessing. Anything down the road would be a blessing as well. I just want to say that season 2 is also airing again, starting next Thursday on A&E in the States. And, that's we've done our Canada run, and now we're going to hit the U.S., and that's a big deal. So
well, it is, because that's where the show came from. So, I mean, that's where...
But if it takes off, it just has a better chance of solidifying a season 3, because like anything, if it's making money and it's got a viewership and the ratings are there, then it justifies it there.
Well, you already said that the deal was that they would air it in the States anyway, so it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with how many people watched in Canada, right?
Yeah, it could be a big success in Canada, but if it doesn't grab onto folks in the States. But who knows? I mean, I really,
million people. I think it will.
I'm kind of talking through my ass in that respect, because I'm really not sure what the politics are and behind the scenes. All I know is that a lot of really awesome people came together to create a great show, and being able to work with these people and forge new friendships with these people has just been an absolute blessing, man.
Awesome.
And I love playing this character, because in a lot of ways he's like me. I mean, he's kind of intense. I didn't serve in the military or anything like that, but I played ball, and you lived kind of a regimented lifestyle in some ways, and I played a lot of cops, but Bullet's a pretty intense dude. So to play this guy, I mean, when I was reading the script, I was going, really? I get to do this? I get to throw axes and pummel dudes and buy guns and snort coke. Well, fake it anyway, but still, even fake it. He's got to be a pro at whatever he's doing, man, because the stakes are high. I mean,
sure.
We are trying to tell a real story here, right? And the stakes, like unlike in TV where you get a second take, in real life you don't get the second take.
That's right. Can you imagine Charles Falco? I mean, he really went through this for real life.
Unbelievable.
Every second he's thinking he's getting his neck slit. I mean, it's got to be something else.
Yeah. What a rush, or I mean, and he's obviously also extremely skilled,
intelligent
at what he's doing. Yeah, and skilled at what he's doing. So, probably not a lot of people could do what he's doing. Maybe he's thinking, man, you know what? There's nobody that can kind of swing what I'm doing, and I'm the guy that's got to do it, right? So,
you got another email here from Wynn. It says, "Oops, sorry, Barry, it wasn't opening an invite, just T." LOL. I did tell Thomas when he was with me in Wasaga Beach about a great people out his way and sent him the invite to HD Rock.
Yep,
Barry, no worries on this guy riding sun up to sundown.
Yeah, damn right. No, I like to ride.
Well, 12,000 clicks local. That's pretty impressive.
Sure. My motto was this summer, riding around doing bad things with good people.
Gotta love that.
Yeah. Thanks for your email, Wynn.
Yeah, Wynn. Thanks, brother.
Yeah. So, I don't know if Barry's told you much about us, but I'd like to take an opportunity to personally invite you to join us this summer. I organize a ride called the Heroes Highway Ride.
I have heard of it.
Yeah,
I'd be honored.
We'd love to have you out. Here's the the promotional. So we're gonna be doing that on Saturday, June 3rd. We're gonna ride the Highway of Heroes. So we'd love to have you out. Yeah. And then on June 4th, we're doing
have a look on the screen, Barry.
special ride, as it's Canada's 150th, and it's 100th of Vimy Ridge for 2017. We're going to ride from Kingston, starting off in Fort Henry. We're going to ride to Ottawa.
Wow.
And I'm calling that Birth of a Nation ride.
Yeah, beautiful.
So they're both free. It's about getting out there, get people out. And
honoring.
Yeah.
Well,
it really is. It's about the troops.
We could fill up his week for him if he wants. Rolling Thunder. And
I got to tell you, my grandfather, Charles Von Mitchell, fought at Vimy Ridge.
Yeah,
World War I, and my grandfather was a major in the British Army. I wasn't in the military, but it was certainly in my family. My grandfather, Charles Mitchell, would never discuss it, and he passed on when I was pretty young.
Yeah,
but on my mother's side, he was extremely proud of his service, and it's something that we really need to maintain respect for and keep in our minds.
And on a sad note, we lost a Canadian Forces pilot today. A CF-18 crashed in Cold Lake, Alberta.
I heard that.
To the family, our condolences. Barry, you were going to say something?
I don't remember, man.
Oof.
No, I'm just. I was just.
No, it's 9 years and it's a great event, and we'd love to have you come out and
I'd love to
bring whatever cast members you want. And
I know what I was going to ask now. No. Where is the ride this year coming from?
It's starting in Trenton at the Canadian Air Force Museum, right beside CFB Trenton, and it's going to Port Hope,
just like last year,
exactly.
Which was a stellar event.
Amazing.
Stellar event.
The best one yet.
Yeah, it's going to be bigger and better for sure.
Dave, thank you for keeping Lou on board.
Well, we
shut up.
We sort of have to do it.
We have to do it.
Neither Lou or I were able to serve, but we both. My grandfather was in the military on both sides, and like Thomas's grandfather, he didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the kids these days, they see Call of Duty, they play it. There's nothing to bring the reality of war. If people aren't going to talk about it, it's fine to sit there and say, well, I killed 32 people, but it took me 5 lives to do it.
Yeah, trading scores on a video game's a hell of a lot different
than actually firing a gun at somebody.
The real thing, or being shot at.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there was that 11-year-old kid last night running down the 401 in his parents' car because he just finished.
I heard about that.
Playing a driving game and figured he could go driving.
That must have been Grand
We're living
Theft
in
Auto.
Trump world now, so anything's possible. You got to throw up your hands and keep the folks close to you real tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lou, if Thomas got nothing to do for that week, we could keep it occupied for him.
Yeah, he's never been to Washington either. On a motorcycle with 350,000 motorcycles?
No, I haven't. That sounds pretty epic.
That's Rolling Thunder, dude.
Wow, no kidding.
That's crazy.
That's the week before.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to. I'm just going to throw this out. I know that if we do go again, and I shouldn't say because I don't know, but the shot schedule was from early April to the end of June.
Yeah.
But, I was thinking also, if we were to do something for season 3, could you imagine a shot like that in an episode?
Yeah.
Where it's 5 minutes of bikes rolling by.
We get that.
As the credits roll or a song plays or something overlays.
Yeah, we get that.
I mean, we don't, to put that together for the show would require an enormous budget, but if we could kind of work it out.
Nothing like a drone
together, couldn't we?
Nothing like a drone over top of the bikes as they float down. We've had our best turnout was 2011. We came to Oshawa. It was a bitch of a day. It rained and poured, and we had over 3,000 bikes.
Yeah,
it was
Clayton's
awesome.
Probably got something on a video somewhere.
Yeah.
He stood on the bridge last year.
Yeah,
he's got the HHR video from.
Oh, I know. You got some great shots.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Poppy Memorial and stuff. We got it's a great thing. So,
and the sound, man, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Beautiful thing.
I when I started this, I never had any idea that it was going to be like it is. I was thing, but
well, a lot of people behind you and
leading it is a tremendous honor.
Yeah.
And every year we have a fallen family member. Fallen Heroes family member as our Grand Marshal, and we honor them, and it's been great.
It's important, man.
Yeah.
It's important. I think not to hammer it home, but we just send the best off, right? We send the best off our Canadian military, and I know guys that I grew up with, and it was that was the choice they were making, and we'd always kind of go, really, man? But that was their commitment, and we send the best off. I think our soldiers are smart. They're really well trained. Going back to the days of World War I, our guys volunteered, man.
Yeah.
They volunteered to fight a war
Yeah.
all the way around the world. And that mentality is still part of what makes a Canadian soldier separate and apart, you know.
And you know, I've been fortunate through this. I've met some great people, and they've accepted me as if I was one of their own, and it's a great honor.
No doubt.
And incredible part to be part of something like that. I wish I could have flew. I wanted to be a helicopter pilot, but I couldn't enlist because I'm an amputee, so it just didn't happen. So unfortunate, one of those things. But you know, we do what we can, and this is how we
damn right
try to do it.
And that's what it's about. We all should be trying to do what we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we can all do a lot.
Sure.
Yep.
Every day, every way.
Yeah.
You see a veteran, buy him a coffee. Anyway, we got to wrap up as our hour's coming to an end. So, Barry, Tammany, any last parting shots?
I just want to say thanks for coming in, Thomas.
It's been
very.
great
Thank
having
you for inviting me, you
Tam.
guys. Really, really, thank you for inviting me. This gig has been an absolute blessing, and this is just part of it. I'm so happy to give back and just to have the opportunity to be a part.
We
of
wish
it.
you the
Thank
best, man, and we want to see you dancing with Jolie, what's her name? In
Angela?
Hollywood. Bro.
I love Beyonce.
You know,
man. I think
okay, you
Beyonce
can
is
dance with
fantastic.
Beyonce,
She's so
bro.
talented and beautiful. I love her.
We know we love the show, bro.
Thank
At
you
least
so
get
much.
back to reality and look
Yeah.
forward to riding with you next year.
Yeah, I'm
we
into
look
that.
forward
I'm
to
down
riding
with
with
that.
you, bro.
Let's get riding again.
Yeah. And
Thank you,
Thomas,
Lou.
thank you for coming in. Any last words for my audience?
December 8th, A&E. Let's rock this thing. Kick that thing over and let's
Rock it.
blast on down the road.
Absolutely.
We got 2 episodes, then we take a break for Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody, by the way. And then we
All
do
right. I love it. Politically
Merry
correct.
Christmas. Merry Christmas. And then we rock the last 6 episodes starting after New Year. And let's see where it ends, man. Let's see how it goes.
Hope it
at
goes
the
well.
very least, I think we're telling a good story. It's entertaining.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
it
Right
is.
on.
Thank you again for joining us tonight. Barry, Tammany, thank you for
Thanks
for having
partnering
us,
it
Lou.
and that. Dave, well, you were quiet, and I appreciate that.
Thank you,
and
Dave.
you were even quieter. That was better.
Dave was the producer
Thank you,
tonight.
And I want to thank my producer, Gary Labar. Anyway,
Great job, Gary.
And then.
Well,
to
yeah.
see you,
they
Ann.
So, till next time, I want to thank you. My name is Lou DeVuono. You've been listening to Kickstands Up here on Reality Radio 101. Take care of 'em. Ride safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Kickstands Up with your hosts, Lou DeVuono and Dave Wilson, right here on Reality Radio 101.